25th season, 13th year. I'm always excited at the start of a season. Lisa is somebody that I think a lot of people are going to root for. I think a lot of people are going to recognize her as Blair from The Facts of Life.
Okay.
But beyond that, she's a Survivor fan, a real fan.
It is a privilege to be out here.
Who's she going to align with? That's the big question for Lisa. Does she know the game well enough to align with somebody that she can move forward with? Because if you make a mistake and you align with the wrong person, you're dead. You can't recover. Abby Maria is going to be her own worst enemy. Very charming Brazilian.
Watch out, I'm gonna charm you up and you're gonna love me.
I would expect her to be around for a while. I'd be sad if she wasn't. She's got a nice spark. Malcolm is your prototype for Survivor. He's young, good looking, looks like he's from the jungle. I think women will like him. Guys will probably want to hang out with him.
I'm not too worried about how I'm perceived. People like me wherever I go. Just kind of ride that wave as long as I can until it comes time to get a little down and dirty.
Angie, Miss Utah, as she's known, has no business being out here.
There's floaties in here.
She's a delightful young woman, don't misunderstand. But Survivor is a tough game, and it's a game that requires a lot of social skills, and I just don't think Angie has what it takes. Jeff Kent, here's a guy who's played Major League Baseball for 20 years. So coming in, he has that going for him and against him.
I hope that those physical stats that I put up in the game, will help me in some way. There's no doubt I'm gonna have to fall back on some of those to beat some of these 20-year-old kids out here.
If somebody recognizes him and they like him, that's great. They idolize him, or they think, dude, you had to have made millions. I like Jeff just as a competitor. He's a guy we would put on this show regardless whether he had a major league career or not. He's that tough farmer type that'll get out there and get it done, and I think he likes the strategy of the game. RC is one of my favorites. I've liked her from the first time we met her. She's fit for this game physically, very good in the water, and I think she's a pretty good strategist. Those instincts can really get you a long way on Survivor, and I would not be surprised to see RC end up in a very good alliance and go deep in the show. Artis is a guy that I think is gonna have a hard time, but I root for him because this is a guy that applied 15 or 20 times to the show. The only time he didn't apply, he was treating cancer.
Once I pulled through that, ironically, the very first audition after that is the one that got me here.
This is your die-hard Survivor fan who wants to be out here, has this great spirit. How will he fit with the others? I don't know. Denise is a woman who is over 40, and that's gonna be a strike against her because lately Survivor's all about the young people. But Denise is really fit and really good with people. I have a feeling if there's anybody in that category she's in of an older woman, she's the one that could make it work. Carter's a big question mark. I love Carter. Carter is a super smart kid, got a great personality.
Dance floor, it's on.
But if he clams up or if he gets shy, he could be in trouble. People make impressions quickly in this game and they assess what they think about you. If it's a question mark, it's hard to lose that question mark. Roxanne is a really interesting person to have out here because I think her strong faith can work for her or against her.
Being a born-again Christian has really genuinely changed my life because God is really the epitome of all my joy.
There are times out here where having faith is probably the single greatest asset you can have when it's pouring down rain and you're hungry and tired and you've never experienced this before. Pete is a bit of a dark horse for me. I don't think he has it strategically to do well in this game. He's certainly strong, and I guess you keep him around for that, but I can't get a true read on him. He could surprise me and be much better at this than I think. Dawson, as she's going by, Sarah, is kooky, unpredictable.
All the teachers at my school were always trying to get me to, behave or, calm down a little bit.
And therefore, I have no idea. I wouldn't trust her in an alliance because I wouldn't trust her to not forget what we talked about yesterday. Zane, love him. I want a guy like Zane every season. You look at him, he's got tattoos, you judge him, you hear he's a tire treader, and you think, wow, what's that mean? Then you talk to him and you go, that's kind of interesting.
All this lifting weights and that's not carrying you nowhere. You looking pretty on TV is not helping you survive, When I found out I was gonna be on here, I got my wife to double up on the cooking.
Will his differences be what ultimately gets him kicked out? Who knows? But if you judge that book by its cover, it may read you. Katie Hansen, I'm on the fence about. I go like this. She's gonna do great. She's gonna be off early. She's gonna do great. She's gonna be off early.
I have big boobs, I'm pretty, and I probably don't know what the hell I'm getting myself into. But sadly, they are wrong.
I'm like that bird dunking for water. Good, bad, good, bad. I don't know. Dana, I like. I root for Dana. I like her story. I like the fact that she came out when she was very young as being gay and has had to sort of fight her way through life and has made something of herself. I really like her spirit, and I hope this game doesn't overwhelm her. Penner is one of my all-time favorite survivors. He'd be on my top 10 list for sure. I like how he plays the game. I like how aggressive he is. I like how he pushes the rules. I like how he lips off to me.
I've been told you're an ass, you're obnoxious, you're a loudmouth, you're abrasive, you give Jeff crap.
I hope Penner lasts. I hope he doesn't annoy somebody, or I hope they don't look at him and say, you've played many times, dude, get out of here, because he is so fun at Tribal Council. Russell Swan and I will always have a connection because he nearly died in front of me.
Russell, wake up, mate. Wake up. You there? Huh? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that moment. It was the hardest time I'd ever had on the show. So to see him recover, get the blessing from his wife to come back out here and do it again is very inspiring to me. And I want him to get that shot.
I'm better than ever. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Scoopin's the most iconic medical evacuation of any reality show I think that's ever been on TV. Scoopin fell into the fire and there was skin dripping off his fingers as he was evacuated out to a hospital. That's when everybody knew Survivor was real. We've tried to get Scoopin on this show so many times, and this time it worked out. And when I saw him, I couldn't believe how good he looked, and I couldn't believe how excited I was to have somebody who was on the show 13 years ago back.
I don't think I've lost anything physically. I'm sharper mentally. I know I can't be broken emotionally. At this point in time in my life, it actually is the perfect time for me to play this game.